webinar is also available in Spanish and French via live stream translation by wonderful interpreters. There is a button with a language icon at the bottom, so you can switch to another language channel. If you have any question for Ahmad, please use the Slido. And for any technical problems, you can reach out to us in the Zoom chat, and Goran will be happy to answer any of your questions. There will be a question and answer session towards the end of the webinar. And so we will hold most questions until then. And Clara and I will read the questions aloud for Ahmed to answer.
So as I mentioned earlier, my name is Clara, and I'm currently working as an intern in the corporate citizenship team of DPDHL, and I'm also part of the World of Tomorrow team. Together with me is Emmanuel, who will be co-moderating. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Emmanuel from Kenya, and I'm a final year student at the Cooperative University of Kenya. I'm studying information technology. I'm a content creator and a professional photographer. I'm also an active Go Teach youth ambassador for SOS Children's Village, the year 2020 to 2021 for Kenya. I'm passionate about the matters of youth and children, and hence started a brand called Penta Media that will help create a platform where young people will get employment, showcase their talent and abilities. I'm happy to be here with you all.
Thank you for being here, Emmanuel. That's really cool. I would like to give a very special welcome to those of you attending for the first time. Let me tell you what this format is actually about. So the World of Tomorrow is a bi-monthly webinar series hosted by the Go Teach team, which consists of DPDHL, SOS Children's Villages, and Teach for All. Each webinar, we invite exciting personalities like Ahmad to share their experience with us. Previously, we've already had great webinars on topics such as sustainability, empowerment, business, and even more. So overall, we want to deliver the knowledge and inspiration you need to make this world a little bit better.
Today, we have a pleasure of hosting Ahmad Joudeh as our key speaker, who will be speaking on his inspiring journey on how he became a professional dancer and what challenges he had to face on his way.
So Ahmad will tell you more about his story in a minute, but a short introduction. So Ahmad was born and raised in Syria, and in 2016, he moved to Amsterdam with the help of the Dutch National Ballet. He has also been internationally active as a freelance artist. In 2019, he was appointed as an international friend by SOS Children's Villages, and in the same year, he even won an Emmy for his documentary. That's so cool. And this year, he obtained Dutch nationality and helped establish the Dance or Die Foundation, acting as artistic director. Also this year, his book with the same name, so Dance or Die, was published worldwide.
So pleased to have you with us, Ahmad. Welcome to this World of Tomorrow webinar.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So you, our audience, have the possibility to participate and engage with Ahmad, Emmanuel, and myself through an app called Slido. You can use your mobile phone or any other device to join via the link, which my colleague Goran will now post in the chat. You can also just scan the QR code on the slide, and the hashtag you then have to enter is Ahmad. So let's give everyone a minute to figure out how this works. And yeah, so we have some questions prepared to you to kind of groove in on the topic of Ahmad's speech. So the first one would be, how do you become a professional dancer? Like, what do you think? Do you need to do anything special? Do you have to have specific traits? Really excited for the answers. You can always scan the QR code on the left, of course, of the webinar. Oh, someone's saying good coordination. Is that true? What do you think, Ahmad?
Yeah, I think so. You have to have good coordination every day.
Yeah, confidence.
And confidence, of course. Yeah, that's the main thing. Fitness. Yes, you can train that. You don't have to have it, but you can train it.
Yeah, cool. Commitment. For
sure. Of course.
What do we have? Passion. We have passion.
Passion is the very important thing. Ambition.
Wow, there's a lot of words coming.
Memory.
Well, which of those would you say is like most important?
Yeah, I think commitment, passion, ambition, like I think all of them are important. Yeah, but the most important thing is, yeah, to have the passion, I think. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You can as well, like you can process memories during your dance, right? Like that's how I do it myself.
So sorry, what again? What do you do?
To process your memories, to live them and live them again,
Wow.
feel them again. Yeah. And then express them. If you had a situation you couldn't express, you can relive it, express it, and let it go.
That's really beautiful. Great. Wow, so many good ideas coming in. So we would then go on to the next question, which is on the topic of integration. So what do you do to fit in a different environment? Like when you're new in a place or new in a country, or maybe even a continent, like what would you do to become part of the society?
Are we waiting for the answers or should I answer first?
Oh, I mean, we can also just wait, but if you want to go ahead and answer that, we're happy to hear.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to be open for the change, because to fit in a different environment is a different, yes, be curious, make new friends, that's of course. But first you have to start with yourself. Learn about culture, the language, the history, or share culture. I would say more share your culture with the new environment that you live in. Yeah, make people know you, allow people to know you, and allow yourself to know other people.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so also a lot of ideas here. Great, maybe we wait another 30 seconds if someone else has something completely new. Be open, be curious. What else do we have? Oh, share experience, that's what you just said. Great.
Accept, of course, it's important. And there is important thing, I guess, about fitting in a different environment. Don't feel the pressure to fit in, right? Like if you are in open-minded or more open-minded environment than your own environment, sometimes if you feel pressure that you have to be open-minded, then no, don't feel this. No, be yourself. Just be yourself and share your culture with the other culture.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's even saying to find your community. So to find like-minded people in the new place. I think that's also really valuable. So you
maybe this helps, but in my experience, it didn't really help me as much, because I wanted to see different communities, and that helped me to be more open-minded. And then I found, for example, like people who are from the same country where I came from, and then we gather from time to time together. We have dinners together, and we share our experience together. That as well helps, but you have to be open for other communities, I think, as well. You have to see. I think when you see and you have knowledge about where you are and who you are, then you can choose where to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just a mix of all the things. I think it's nice to kind of expand your horizon, but also to have a community that you can then maybe share your experiences with, and who made similar experience like you even. Great, amazing. So yeah, maybe we go on to the next point then.
All right. For the audience listening, if you have any question during this presentation, you can write them into Slido. There's a question and answer tab, but it is also fine if you post them into the Zoom chat. We will address this later on.
Yeah, now we would like to hand over to you, Ahmad. The floor is yours. Go ahead. I'm excited.
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be able to share with you this beautiful webinar. My name is Ahmad Joudeh. I am a dancer. I was born in Syria in a refugee camp for stateless refugees in south of Damascus. I grew up there and I learned dance while I was there. I could even, become a principal dancer in Inanna Dance Theater in Damascus. All of this started since I was 8 years old. I saw dance for the first time during a school end of the year celebration. That was the girls' school, that they were dancing ballet. And then I saw it for the first time and I really wanted this. Like, since I imitated them, I felt the vibration of my existence on that moment. And since then, I want to keep this safe and protected. So when I became 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, I joined Inanna Dance Theater and I stayed there basically until I left Syria. I learned ballet, Russian ballet by Albina Bilova. She was the ballet master in the company. So the first year it went great. And then after a year, I was already on TV where my father saw it for the first time. And he was like, no, we're not doing this. And since then, I had a very big conflict with him about I want to be a dancer and he's not allowing me for that. So he tried whatever you can imagine that to stop me, but hopefully he couldn't. So my challenges started at home. And then, of course, on 2011, the war started in Syria. It was outside of Damascus, but then on 29th of December 2012, our house was bombed by a car bomb. The building, obviously, all of it was bombed. So we had to leave. We had to leave the camp, and this is the camp after ISIS got control on it. We have to leave. We had to leave, and we had to start over. Basically, we only had what we were wearing. So we rented another place, and we started over from the zero. Me, my mother, and my brother and sister. Of course, I was on the second year in my studies in the Higher Institute for Dramatic Arts, the dance department. And I had the second semester exams. And Damascus was on fire. So my mom took my brothers and she left to Palmyra because she is from Palmyra. I refused to leave because I had to finish my exams. I stayed, no place to stay. I used the tent on the roof in a house of one of my friends. Stayed there for 2 months and a half almost, something like that. Did my exams and I passed them all. I became third year in the institute when I started to teach dance for kids, especially the SOS children villages, as we can see here, and the syndrome Down children as well, and orphan children, and children who couldn't afford to have ballet classes. And of course, in private studios, where that was basically my job. So we were people who could afford it. I could teach dance there, and that was a work I do to support my family beside my dancing. I had great experience by teaching kids, especially the kids in the SOS children villages. I learned a lot from them, and we shared a lot of beautiful moments, and that went for a little while. And when I became in the fourth year of my studies, I joined So You Think You Can Dance, which made me more exposed. But before that, because I started teaching kids and I was already on TV, I was well known, let's say, but not in a safe way. Because by then, extremists used to rule some places of Syria. We all know about them, Al-Qaeda in Syria and ISIS and these people. So they threaten me because, teaching kids is not something they like. especially dance. And being a dancer and spoken out, it's not something they like. So I was fought, I was threatened, and I was displaced, I was buttoned down, and I almost received it every other day on my phone, these kind of threats. But my response was dance or die here. So I had a tattoo on my neck because I wanted to carry my life on my neck. I live the way I want, or I don't want to live at all. So I tattooed dance or die on my neck where the blade would fall if they wanted to execute me. And since then, I carry it with pride. And it is in the Indian language because I show respect for the Lord Shiva, the god of dance, and to let ISIS know that what they believe in is not my belief. What I believe in the spirit that guides us all, every one of us, through this life. And we all have it the same. We are all the same. So if they could catch me, the tattoo would be the last thing they can see from me. Luckily, they couldn't. So, but I finished my studies in Syria, and I have to join the army, of course. And I had only 3 months to give myself to the army. During these 3 months, I graduated, and I was the only person who could graduate on that year, 2016. It was very difficult. Like, believe it or not, mortars were falling on us in this school, in the ballet studio. And we kept going and we kept going. So that was a happy moment when I could graduate, could have my bachelor, but I had only 3 months to join the army, where I was like, oh my God, that's gonna stop in here. What to do? So, of course, I don't have places to dance. So what I did, I went on the rooftop of the house we rented, and I made a dance video, and I posted it on YouTube, and I said, well, maybe this is if people see it, they will think there was a dancer in here who has big dreams, but unfortunately joined the army. And then because of this video, a journalist from the Netherlands, he saw me and he did a research about me, and he texted me on Facebook. He wanted to come to Syria and make a reportage about me. But then I was like, no, don't come to Syria. It's so dangerous. Anyway, we had a conversation. He came, and then he asked me, like, where do you want to dance? Let's film it. And then I said, I want to dance in the Yarmouk camp in my neighborhood. He said, like, are you crazy? ISIS is controlling it. You want to kill us? I said, I could rent a studio for you, but you asked me, where do you want to dance? There where I want to dance. And then I danced there, and that was the first photo you saw from me. And he filmed that. And then when we finished that day, he asked me again, now where do you want to dance? And then I said, on the Roman stage in Palmyra, where this photo, you can see it now. During these days, this place was under ISIS control. And basically I risked my life to be there and to dance there. And that was a response for them, because they used this stage to execute people on it. And for me, after I think a month or so, when they did that, I danced on that stage, giving them the message that this theater is for art, it's not for killing people. And I believe every artist has the same duty like a soldier during these kind of conflicts. Because a country without culture and art, it's a country not worth fighting for. And that's our duty, to keep our culture and art alive during the war, during death, during darkness. This reportage went viral, and then the Dutch National Ballet saw it. They reached out to me, and they invited me to come to the Netherlands. I had only 2 months left. And then luckily it happened, but I didn't believe it could happen. Because I used to be a stateless refugee without a passport and without a nationality. How can you give me a visa to Europe? if I don't have a passport. So I had a travel document that was valid for the Arab countries, blah, 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 which is not a nationality, but they considered it. And I got a visa on a separate paper that made me come to the Netherlands. And believe it or not, in 6 hours, my life was changed. I went in the airplane from a total different world to totally another world. It took me 3.5 years to understand where I am. I got a culture shock and I didn't even notice it. I moved to the Netherlands, I worked with the Dutch National Ballet, and then I wanted more. I wanted the world to see what is Syria. I wanted the world to know that in Syria, it's not only war, it's not only refugees, it's not only extremists. That's not us. And I wanted the world to know and to realize that if you are a refugee or a stateless refugee, you still can be a professional dancer as well. You can still be a human. You can still fight for your country. So I decided to be a freelancer. I'm still a guest dancer with the Dutch National Ballet, of course, thanks to them that they brought me here. But by freelancing, I could perform in different countries. I could go everywhere almost, and I could be on different stages. And as well, I gave dance classes to different SOS villages. I went to Vicenza and I had in Italy, and I had a very nice workshop with the kids, and it turned out to be a show. We performed 2 times, one in Vicenza and one in Milano. I performed as well with the kids, and that was amazing. I learned some Italian as well from them, which I love. Yeah, so I've been active, teaching, dancing, being a voice for stateless refugees, being a voice for SOS children villages, and for every kid who needs a voice. During all the conflicts that has been happening, I always spoke up only for the kids because I relate to them. I grew up in the same situation, almost like them. And I know that everybody in the world looks at them, or let's say most of the people in the world, they look at them down. But no, those kids can surprise you because they are human like you. We are unlucky to be displaced, like millions of people in this planet, displaced. Why? Ask governments. While a piece of paper can decide your future, can decide who you are, your studies, your education, a piece of paper can decide everything, then I don't think we live in a good world. Anyway, I'm a lucky one. So this reportage became a documentary and it got an Emmy Award, International Emmy Award. And believe it or not, I was still stateless refugee when I left, and I went to New York during Trump time. So I could go to New York and be there and get the Emmy. And Drusbe was very, very happy. Me too, of course. And then I could write, of course, I wrote my book in Italian and it was there since, I think, 4 years. But this year, because of the lockdown, I stayed at home and I worked on my book and made it in English. And now we published it in English. And the most beautiful thing that I'm proud that I've done recently is dancing in Eurovision. I had my own show in the second semi-final, and that was a dream came true for me. I could represent the Netherlands as a Dutch person after I obtained the Dutch nationality. Unfortunately, I lived in the Arab world for like 26 years, and I was not considered a citizen. I have never had a nationality and I have never had a citizenship until I came to the Netherlands, and after 3.5 years, I got the Dutch nationality. So my first nationality ever, I got it when I am 31. Believe it or not, some people in this planet, they have 2 nationalities. But that's of course, didn't stop me. It didn't stop me because I have a spirit in me that guides me. I represent myself. I represent my family, my culture. I don't represent any government. And I was free of this. I lived all my life free of this. I didn't have to. And if I would tell something to young people, I would just say, be connected to your spirit and find the home within. I lived all my life looking for home until I found it within. Wherever I go, I feel home now because I am my own home. Freedom, responsibility, diversity, those are the three words that I love the most. Freedom has a great impact on people, but at the same time has a big pressure. Freedom can make you feel powerful, but at the same time can make you feel lonely. Responsibility, be responsible about the gift you have, about your health, about your body, about your environment, about your people. Be responsible about yourself and be yourself. Don't let anyone put you down. Don't allow people who are privileged to put you down just because you don't have one of those papers that they had or they have. No, don't let them step on your spirit. Protect it. And diversity, of course, we should live together. We should love each other. We should protect each other. We're human, all of us. Which one of us chose where to be born? Or with who? We didn't choose anything, but we choose peace. We choose love. We choose diversity. That's what we should choose. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ahmad. I'm really moved by your story. I literally had goosebumps at some points, and yeah, I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you for giving me the chance to share my story with you.
Thank you, Ahmad. That was really interesting.
Thank
Before
you.
We go on, all right. Before we go on to the question and answer session with Ahmad, we have something very special prepared for you.
Yeah, so as Ahmad is a professional dancer, like he told us, we gave you the opportunity to send us in your dance videos. And the videos we received are really cool, and it's so great to see how dancing connects people all around the world. And as Ahmad said so beautifully, we're all human, and yeah, it's something very natural, I think, also to just love to dance, and that's everywhere in the world. Isn't that great?
All right, let's have a look at one of the videos. The first video is from a group from Tunisia. Wow, how impressive, Ahmad. What do you think?
I think we all notice the happiness they are living, right? Like, look at them, how beautiful. That's the most important thing by like making kids dance, you know. And yeah, of course, don't think of technical things and don't think of how your body looks like. Can I or I cannot? No, everybody can dance. Everybody has the right to dance because dance is like life. Everybody has the right for it.
Yeah, and
So,
I also think I also love the text of the song, which said, "Hand in hand will change the world." I think that's really,
yes.
really nice, and yeah, great. So beautiful. We will actually have other dance videos, but we will show them after the Q&A, so we get all the time you need for for asking any questions that may have arisen during Ahmad's story. So again, you can use Slido to ask your questions, and it's the same link as before, or you can just send, scan the QR code again. So yeah, there's some questions already there, which were probably asked during your presentation. So someone's asking, at what age did you start dancing?
I started, let's say, at home when I was 8, but professionally ballet training since 15 or 16 years old.
Wow, but like just out of interest, how did you manage to kind of learn ballet on your own? I mean, that's a very hard...
Videos, I mean, like YouTube videos and stuff, but that was only, yeah, at home. But when I went, of course, you want to learn ballet professionally, then you need to have ballet master, which was when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, but I used to jump around a lot when I was 8.
Cool.
Wow, great, great. Where did you get? What are the challenges you faced while dancing and growing in dancing?
Sorry?
What are the main challenges you faced?
Yes, the main challenges I faced, well, I still say like being accepted. It was a very big thing for me because, yeah, I didn't fit in. I was a stateless refugee, right? And I was very in the picture. Like all the companies I worked with, I had the spotlight, and not everybody like that. So yeah, until today, some people, they don't like what I do. Some people, they express their hate for what I do, which I think it's incredible to be able to touch both sides. When you touch people who loves you and you touch people who hates you. So they hate you more, and who loves you, they love you more. That
But
means
how
you're
do you deal
successful.
with how do you deal with like hate and like negative comments that you encounter?
I don't even pick it up.
Okay.
Because I don't need any judgment, neither positive nor negative. Like I try every day to be the better than who I am today. So I just focus on myself. I focus on my training, because only my training that can judge me. You know, only how much work, how much energy, how much effort I put in my life, that's what can judge me. Not anybody else. How can they know? How do they know? Nobody knows what you feel. They just see outcome and then they judge based on that, or based on how they feel. So never let anybody judge you.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, and I think that's something that everyone can kind of remember every time they are down because someone else judges them, that it's not at all important. That's really beautiful. We have another question, which is, where do you get all your power and confidence? Like, you had to endure so many things. How did you always be so strong and stayed so strong and manage to do that?
Well, from my pain, that's what made me stronger. All the challenges, all the pain I had, all the struggles, that's what taught me how to be stronger. And my confidence is by knowing that when I fall, there is no hand will come pick me up. I have to stand up by myself. So why would I be afraid of someone, or why would I be nervous because of, I don't know, someone or somebody? I was in situations where I didn't find anyone by my side, and I could still stand up.
Mm. Well, all of your answers are so moving. I always feel bad to kind of go on to the next questions, because we could have a discussion of hours about that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So maybe another question, what kind of support did you need from the others when you started dancing?
I needed education. I needed, if you're talking about practical support, I needed studios. I needed ballet masters, let's say. But if you talk about mental support or something like that, I had my mother by my side, and she was the best support for me. And I always say, like, being loved is the source of my strength. And as long as I feel loved, I'm so strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe here's someone also asking, but what's your advice for someone who wants to pursue a dream, but the parents are not supportive? So,
well, your parents, they should not decide who you are or what you want. My father was the first enemy for me. I don't even like to talk about details because it's really painful, you know. But he was really, really, really bad father. Like he beated me up, like he did so many bad stuff, but he never stopped me because he doesn't know that, or he doesn't have the power to decide what my future is. No one has the power for that. You only have the power for that. And now he is my first supporter. Now we're friends, me and my father. After I became successful, he's proud now. He's the first one who's proud of me. So your parents will change their mind when you are successful. So keep working, keep following your dream. When you reach it, they will understand that you were right.
so great. Yeah. So another question is, did you have anyone who inspired you? Who did you look up to?
Of course, all the time. Like as a dancer, I had Roberto Bolli. He's the Italian dancer. He's my friend right now. Imagine. I still don't believe it sometimes. We dance together even. You can see it on YouTube as well. Yeah, I always looked up to him and I love his work, and I was crazy fan about him. And then I met him and we danced together and we're friends now. And he even for my book, he wrote the introduction of my book as well. Wow. So yeah, I love him so much. He's such a beautiful artist.
Wow, that's so crazy that you look up to him and then some years later he's right? Like a friend. It's so cool. Yeah, then we have another question who's been around some time. So do you need to be talented? I think it maybe refers to, like, is talent very important, or can you beat it with hard work? What do you think about that?
Talent is very important, of course, but still hard work is I think they are equal. If you really work hard, then you are already talented. So okay. Yeah, no one can just jump and stay there in the air. Everybody needs to work hard. Even if you're talented or not, you need to work hard.
Okay.
Wow. Great. I mean, there's some questions coming in. Somebody's asking, what will be your advice to someone who wants to be a professional dancer?
I think my advice would be, whatever you face during your daily life, put it outside of the dance studio. And go to your dance studio and just be there on that moment, fully yourself, thinking how to improve yourself, focusing on yourself, because I believe your body is your instrument. You have to take care of it, right? You have to be careful with it. Yeah, that's what I do. I work hard. I work really hard. I do what I have to do. And I like just be an honest artist. When you are on stage, you cannot lie. Just be yourself.
Wow, well said. Oh, there's another question that has just come in. What is your advice to those who are going through times in the current world?
Yeah, I mean, everybody have now going through hard time. We all do. Like with the pandemic, like dancers, they had, I think, the worst time because we had to train at home or at the park. Like sometimes we had to go at the park and start stretching and people will gather. Like, no, I'm not performing. I'm just trying to stretch. So yeah, I think we are all facing the same difficult times in different levels, let's say, and in different situations, but keep it all outside. Just don't let it go in you, within you. Just keep it outside, work hard, believe in yourself, and keep hope alive. Like I used to bike in Damascus streets where everything around me was bombed. Everything was broken around me. But inside me, it was blossoming. Hope was blossoming in my heart. I didn't let it get into me. So I was not broken.
Great. Then we have other questions from someone who's maybe coming from an adult side, and he's asking, or she's asking, what is your advice? How can we be better allies and supporters for young people?
I think, first of all, we need to understand young people. We need to understand and we need to be there for them. Supporting young people, yeah, I think when I was young, I just needed to be understood. Like, that's the most important thing. We need to make them feel safe, feel accepted. Practical support is easy. You can see what they need as, let's say, artists. What do they need? You can give them. But if you don't support them mentally, then what are you doing? I think the most important support is the mental support.
Yeah, beautiful.
I agree. So, Ahmed, how do you balance your different projects and interests?
They are not balanced. Well, I do a lot of things actually, sometimes at the same time, like yeah, being an international friend for SOS Children Villages and being a storyteller, kind of. I feel like I am a storyteller somehow, right? Like I've been training myself as a ballet dancer, but then yeah, like my I just feel that I should give, like by giving my experience to people, I feel better, you know. I don't feel selfish because I live my dream. Yes, I lived almost all my dreams. And I could just disappear and just do my thing, right? I could not talk about my story because every time I talk about it, it used to hurt me so much, you know, memories and all of this. But then knowing that people are getting inspired, people are opening their mind and being curious about my people, let's say, or about people who are like me, or people who are still stateless, who are those people, right? So by giving, by telling my story and giving inspiration to people, it makes me very happy now. So of course, I don't like to remember the bombs and I don't like to remember the fights with my father. But as long as it will make you accept each other, I'm gonna tell it every time. So I have different projects. I do my ballet classes almost every day, as long as I can. And I go to the gym, I work on my body, and I do my rehearsals, and I do my meetings and my interviews and my storytelling, a lot of things. But I have by my side a supporter, her name Hitumi. She's my manager, and she's helping me with this. Without her, I don't know what to do. I came from a refugee camp, huh? So she takes care for the practical stuff. Yeah.
Great. And I don't know if you can see actually the chat, but you can be sure that you're inspiring so many people. There's so many comments, and everyone's really touched and happy that you're shared your story with us. So
thank you. I'm happy for that.
A lot of fans here in the chat. Yeah, someone else is asking, do you still have contact with your family and with friends that still live in Syria?
Of course, yes, of course. Almost every day I talk to my mom and we laugh for hours. So they have a very good life now. I'm working, I'm supporting them. So they live safe and happy, and they choose to stay there. I even help them to come to Europe, but they choose to stay in Syria, which I understand, because Syria is a beautiful country and the culture there is amazing. And without the war, I would never think of living somewhere else. Like Syria is beautiful. So my family is in there happy, safe, and I'm so happy that they are happy. I have contact with them, my friends as well. Most of my friends, who are, let's say, they used to be in the company where I was, now they are in different countries. So mostly in Europe. But so we meet each other. I still have friends in Syria, of course. Thanks to Instagram and Facebook, they keep us connected, like, in the stories and stuff. So yeah, we are still in contact.
Cool. Then maybe we can answer both of those questions together. So what does your day look like as a performer? How many hours per day do you train, and what do you do to relieve stress and wind down maybe after an exhausting day?
It depends. If my normal training day is almost, if I'm preparing for a show or something, it's almost 6 to 8 hours just working. I have 2 hours for ballet, of course, half an hour of warm-up, 1 hour and a half is the ballet class. I have like almost 2 hours in the gym, and I have minimum 2 hours rehearsal. So it could be from 2 to 4 hours, depends on the project. If I am performing, girl, the whole day working. Wow. And even I have to eat in a certain time. I have to, I ignore my private life and I just live professional life, where, like, of course, before you dance, in 2 hours, you cannot eat anything. And after you finish dancing, you cannot eat in at least 1 hour. So there are a lot of demands when you are a professional dancer, which I'm happy to do. Because I love what I'm doing. How to release stress and when down, that's very difficult. Like, after a show, sometimes I cannot sleep because I'm too tired to sleep. And I think everybody knows this feeling. It is very difficult to balance this. But I talk to my mom most of the time, or I listen to my music. Well, mostly I talk to my mom, actually, after a show, and then I tell her everything, and she's like happy and laughing, and that makes me feel good.
That's so great. That's really beautiful. And she will be really happy to hear from you all, I think, right?
Yes, she's always happy for me.
Cool. So then we have another question from Sandra, actually, so it's not anonymous. Can you say a beautiful thing about the Dutch and about the Syrian culture?
Oh, I love it. Good question. Well, I think the Syrian culture needs the Dutch culture, and all the way around. The Dutch are very direct and very on time. They need some drama, some Syrian drama. and like, Yes, I think the Dutch culture is very accepting as well. Like I felt very welcome. I felt very loved and welcome, and I found a safe place. I feel so safe here in Amsterdam. Like I love my city. Like yeah, and the Syrian culture as well. It's very rich with yeah, different things like the food, like yeah, the hospitality we have, the warmth we have. So we exchange this with the Dutch. So when you come to my place, you will see like a Syrian coffee with Dutch cheese.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, Emmanuel, do you want to ask the next question?
Right. There is a question that has just come in. People are really feeling inspired, Ahmed. Somebody is asking, can you share some links of inspiring dance videos of you or of others?
Okay, if you want to see my videos, I have a channel on YouTube, just my name. You can see everything in there. Even the video I posted and then the journalist found me about, it's called Skin and Bones. And you can see it, it's on the rooftop. I think like for me, even for me, when I see this video, I'm like, wow, because I know how I felt by then. So Skin and Bones, it's a video that saved my life. And yeah, you can see. Actually, you know, since then, I just go to the studio and I just improvise and I put it on YouTube. So I have a lot of videos on YouTube and Instagram. Just I posted on YouTube for me to watch it on the TV, you know? And then people like it and they watch it. And it's a platform where you can see me dance. It's not like I'm on stage all the time. It is on a rooftop, in the street, in a studio, on the water. Like you can see this. So yeah, I just like to share my dance with people.
Great. So we see a lot of other questions. If you don't mind, we can maybe have them after 6 o'clock, because I just would really like to kind of greet everyone, and maybe we can have some other questions after, if you have the time, of course. So yeah. So then we are coming to the end of the official end of our webinar today.
Thank you, Ahmed, for sharing your inspiring story with us.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Of course. We would like to hear your, like, the audience's opinion about the webinar, and also suggestions on how we can improve. So please use the link posted in the chat or scan the QR code to get to the survey. You can complete that whenever it suits you best. Finally, an announcement that our next webinar will be taking place at the beginning of next year. So keep an eye out to hear what exciting topic we will be talking about next time. And you can also subscribe to our Word of Tomorrow webinar newsletter to make sure you never miss out. Yeah, if you have some more time, please stay with us. We're looking at some super cool videos that young people sent in, and we will also hopefully answer some more questions you had. So maybe start with the first video. So unfortunately, we don't know who this video is from. So if you are here, you're invited to share some details, like where you're from and what kind of a dance this is.
Wow, thanks for this nice video. The next video is from young people. The next video is from a group of young people who show us a traditional dance from Benin.
Thank you a lot for those beautiful videos. If anyone knows these songs, we would be really happy to, if you can just send them to us. So I really like them both actually. So I would like to hear them again. So yeah, thank you again a lot for like all of you to tune in, but especially Ahmad, obviously, to take the time to share your story with us and to also take so much time to answer all the questions that arise. I think, yeah, everyone can leave this webinar really, really inspired. And yeah, as we saw from the comments, everyone's really moved and grateful that you shared your story. So
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks to all of you for participating in today's webinar.
Yeah, we are looking forward to seeing many of you again next time. Have a nice day, evening, or good night. And now, of course, Ahmad, if you still have the time to answer some questions, we would go back to the Q&A and see if there's anything else coming up.
Yes, let's do that.
That's great. Thank you. So we see, what other dance styles do you like to perform besides contemporary and ballet? I think you also do.
Yes, I always implement the Arabian dance in my shows. So most of the time I use the dervish dance, like the twirling. And that's as well what I used in Eurovision. So I always have my, let's say, my touch in it. So if you see me dancing ballet, you know I'm Arabian.
Okay.
Yes. So I like to implement the Arabian dance in everything I do. Yeah.
Can I ask, like, how can people see it? Like, do you move different, or?
It's like something in the blood, you know, like your culture is something in the blood. Like you see the Spanish dancing, for example, ballet, you see them with the accent, like doing this little accent. You see, for example, yeah, the Africans, I love to see them dancing. Like they have a lot of melody and like this fancy movements. And the Arabic dance for like as well, you see in my arms most of the time with these movements. And yeah, with the fluidity of the dance, like and if you think about it, like most of the Arabian dance is influenced by the Spanish flamenco and all the way like all the way around. The Dervish dance as well, you find it's from Sufism, so you see it in Turkey and then you see it in Morocco at the same time. So it's like the full map. So we dance the same way, all of us. But then we have this, our, let's say, highlights for our movements, our spices.
That's so beautiful. It's the same as with languages, right? So it's just another type of language, I guess, to dance. That's so beautiful. Great. Yeah, another question is, did you ever forget the choreography during a performance, and what did you do in that situation?
Yes, of course, that happens. I mean, no one is perfect. But when this happens, I just improvise. I'm very good with improvisation, so I will not make you notice it.
Okay. Great. Someone else? Okay, Emmanuel, go ahead, please. Sorry.
Can you explain dance or die?
Yes, I can. It's the value of my life.
Great. Do you also teach dancing anywhere, and how?
Yeah, I most of the times I have a workshop that I teach. It's called Dance to Feel Alive, which I teach for amateurs, professionals, or even beginners, or somebody who never danced before. They just want to dance to feel alive. I teach this workshop. Yeah, I did teach it here in the Netherlands. I did in Lebanon, in Syria, and last time I taught it was in Portugal. And I did, of course, in the US. So it's just the mind opener about dancing, I think. So yeah, I do teach dance. Most of the time I held workshops. I taught classes before, but it took a lot of time from me, where I want to be able to perform more than just sit and teach or just take my time for teaching. I'm still selfish in this because I'm 31 now, and it's not young for a dancer, 31, you know. So I still have only some years where I won't use them as a performer. Yeah, and then after that, of course, I can teach later.
Cool. I think everybody would be lucky to learn from you. So great. Well, I think that's it. As for questions, thank you so much again for joining us, and for also like staying like a bit longer to answer remaining questions. And yeah, I think again, thank you so much everyone for joining us, and we really hope to see you soon. And we will obviously also send you another email with some information and links to Ahmad's channel, so you can stay up to date. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.